Howdy there, Caliente riders. When's the last time you had a good hot steaming ride on your gold? Well, that's too long. So get out there and get the ride and everything.
Gold Winterizing, a shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who is fearless. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause in a world of reckless automobiles. These are my moto vlogs.
What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. And today is Sunday, November the 18th, 2018. And the day I decided to get out on the bike and get a little ride in. The weather has been changing. Wintertime is just around the corner. And the weather has been all over the place. We've been getting cold days, rainy days, even had a few warm days. Today was real nice. The temperature, I think, got up to the low 60s, at least for a little while. I'm showing 6 to 8 on my air temp, but it feels like it's a little bit cooler than 68 right now. It feels good being out on the Gold Wing. Decided to just get the bike out today and just get a little ride in. Out here in Arlington, Tennessee. I tell you what, man, my apologies to the man that came up to me today. I was parked on the side of the road on an important phone call. I looked up in my rearview mirror and the guy in his vehicle was walking up to me. He got out of his car and came up. "You're Chris Caliente. I watch all your videos." I said, "Man, I appreciate it, but I apologize. I'm on an important phone call right now, and now is not a good time." So he immediately jumped in his car and said thank you, and he left. But my apologies to that guy that came up to me, man. I wanted to talk with you, but I just had an important phone call that came in. So I'm just out here cruising today. Decided to get the bike out, wanted to get the ride in before the weather take another turn. The temperature has been dropping, and you don't know from one day to the next what the temperature is going to be like. And so I'm just out here enjoying it while I can. So today, what we're going to talk about? Let's talk about winterizing your motorcycle. Since the weather is changing, it's that time of year. Winterizing your motorcycle is a topic that I like to kind of bring up every year, because depending on where you live, it may not be conducive to riding right now. Some of you might even be getting snow depending on the part of the country you live in. So I do understand. Some of you have already put your bikes up. I've even heard bikers say if it's 50 or below, they will not go. So that means if it's below 50 degrees, they not riding. And I do understand. I plan to ride all year round. Here in the Memphis area, we just get that good weather, and sometimes we can do that as long as it's not snow and ice. I plan on riding, and so I'm just out here cruising out here in Arlington. But again, some of you have already put your bikes up for the winter. I saw a few motorcycles out today. I'm not going to even lie about it. I saw a few bikes, and I guess they're getting it in. But for some of you that have already put your bikes up, please comment on how do you like to store your bike. For me, if I was going to store my bike for the winter, one of the first things that I would do is put some fuel treatment in the gas tank. You don't want to get rust in your gas tank. It's not a good idea to leave just regular ethanol-based fuel in your gas tank over the winter season, because after I think 30 days the ethanol will separate from the gasoline and it will cause rust. So just be careful about that. I recommend just going with some fuel treatment. Go with some fuel treatment. Put you some fuel stabilizer in there. You want to keep that fuel fresh. You don't want it to get stale. You don't want the water to separate and cause rust in your fuel tank. So top it off and put you some fuel stabilizer in there. Run it through before you store the bike. Another thing I like to do is just wash the bike. You want to get a good wash. I know some of you just wipe your bike down. You know, you get a lot of bugs that hit the bike. You get a lot of dirt and road grind. But it's good to wash your bike. Give the bike a bath. You know, I always say a clean wing is a happy wing. So wash your bike, fellas, before you store it for the winter. Put a good wash on it. It probably wouldn't hurt to wax it. Wax it. You want to put a good coat of wax on your bike when you're going to store it for the winter. And if it's outside, you need to put a top on it. And some of you even like to put a top on it or a tarp. You like to cover it even while it's on the inside. Keep it covered up for some of you that have to have your bike outside. Put it under a carport if you can. Or try to just keep it covered up. That's one of my pet peeves if I was going to store my bike up for the winter. Another thing, some of you like to overinflate your tires. You don't want to get a flat spot on your tires. But it's good to just check your tires. I like to check my tires at least once a week. I don't believe in overinflating it if I was going to store it up for the winter. Just check your tire pressure regularly. You don't have to overinflate it. Some of you even like to lift the bike up off the ground. You like to jack it up, get it off the ground so you don't get that flat spot. And that actually takes up less space when you jack it up and maybe put it in a corner. So that may not be a bad deal. It's not required, but it may not be a bad deal. Some of you like to even put carpet under the tires. Cardboard. You know, you want to put something on the tires to keep it from getting that flat spot. So I do understand. You can't hurt it, that's for sure. But I don't recommend overinflating your tires. Just keep it checked. And one of the most important things that a rider can do is get you a battery maintainer. Get you a good battery maintainer. I know some of you put those trickle charges on your bike. You need a good battery maintainer that's going to keep that battery charged. That is very important, because one thing you don't want to do is crank your bike up. Your bike has been sitting for a while and you crank it up and let it run for, 20 minutes or so, and then you cut the bike off. You're actually doing more harm than you're doing good for the bike. Anytime you start up a cold motorcycle, that's hard on your bike. It hadn't been lubricated in a while because the engine hadn't been running, and you let that engine run for just a few minutes or even 10 or 15 minutes, and you cut it back off. Every time you crank your bike, you actually discharging power out of your battery. And the only way that you can get that battery to fully charge, you have to ride it for a higher RPM for at least, I think, 20 minutes to be able to put that charge back into the battery. So don't just crank the bike up and let it sit and think that you are charging the battery when you're doing that. You're actually doing more harm than you are good. You need to ride the bike if you're going to be cranking it up and letting the oil circulate. Let it circulate. Let the lubricant circulate. There's a bike right there to my left. Harley. The Harleys are out today. So that's very important. Keep the battery on a maintainer. Some of you even like to disconnect your battery. If you get one of those adapters, you can mount it on the battery and you can plug your maintainer into that adapter. Now on my Gold Wing, I actually have 2 plugs on the side of my bike. I have one for my heated gear, and I have one for the battery maintainer, but I actually bought an adapter, a SAE plug. I'll put it down in the description below for you guys that bought the hot wired heated gear. So instead of having two cables, one for the battery and one for your heated gear, you take this adapter and it'll plug directly into the charging adapter, and you can plug your heated gear into that. So you don't have to have two cords like I have on my Gold Wing. The good thing about it is that if I have a passenger on the back, like the First Lady, she can plug in her heated gear into the SAE adapter, and then I can plug my heated gear into the charging side. So it's just good to get that adapter, and I'll put the product down in the description below. You can get it at Cycle Gear. You can also find it on eBay or any online store. So keep that battery maintained. You don't have to unhook it. Just keep it maintained. Get you one of those adapters, one of those charging adapters, and that is very important when it comes to storing your motorcycle. But as for me and my Gold Wing, I plan on riding. I hadn't been putting out many videos. I've been having a lot going on. I hadn't been doing a lot of riding. I put out a couple videos in reference to towing because some of you guys like to tow your bikes, and I figured that would maybe help some of you in making a decision on if you want to start towing. But I hadn't been doing much riding, but it's my intention to get out on the Gold Wing and log some miles all year around. As long as it's not snow and ice on the ground, your boy Chris planning on riding. Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. If you would like to comment on this video on how you like to store your bike for the winter, or if you was going to store your bike for the winter, how do you like to do it? What are some of your tips, some of your tricks? Your comments just may help someone out that's new to motorcycling. What are some of the things that you like to do if you was gonna winterize your motorcycle? Well, anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end this video. This is your boy Chris, out on the Gold Wing. Out on the Gold Wing. I can feel the temperature dropping just a little bit. And I will, as always, I will talk to you guys later. See you. And to that gentleman out in Arlington who I did not get the opportunity to talk to when you walked up, again, my deepest apologies that I was busy when you walked up to me. But if any of you that are watching this video would like to contact me, if you have any questions or comments and you would like to send them to me, or a story you would like to share with me, feel free to email me at chriscaliente@yahoo.com, and I will also put the link down in the description below. Email me direct, chriscaliente@yahoo.com. Send me your story, your pictures, and I will be glad to check them out. Thank you.